Raghav is here ahead of the first ever Calgary Flames South Asian celebration. Raghav, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are our first community ambassador for the South Asian community, but I want to ask you first about your music career. Congratulations on how big you made it, first of all. As a Calgarian, what was it like to try and build your career, and what is it like now when you're thriving?
You know, it hasn't been a straight line. It's been up and down, and the pretty cool thing is that my debut album, which is pretty significant in my career, it did very well in the UK and in India and throughout the Middle East, kind of coincided with the 2004 Stanley Cup run. So like when I look back at those old clippings, which I've kept, mainly for the Flames, less so for me, it's like page 1, page 2. It was a very special time, and over the last couple of years since COVID, my music's had a renaissance, and I guess you can call it a comeback. But it's been pretty great and pretty significant. And the fact that I can do that now while still living in Calgary, because I lived in London for the longest time, is also very special, because I don't think 20 years ago that would have been feasible.
Right, awesome. Okay, so obviously you're into music. You said you're a Flames fan as well. Yeah. How big of a Calgary Flames fan are you?
It's a problem. Like it's
a problem.
It's an ongoing issue. Yeah, like there's. I didn't wear blue in junior high until like grade 9, so I was the only kid wearing red jeans. So. Yeah, it's been something to deal with my whole life. But you know, honestly, it's the only time in my life where I feel I shut down. I'm not thinking about anything else, and it either makes my troubles go away. Sometimes it causes a little more stress than it needs to.
Of course.
So it's just been, you know, some of the greatest memories from my childhood, other than being with my family, are coming to games and sitting in the nosebleeds and having my eyes filled with smoke in the 80s and unfortunately sitting through Gretzky's overtime goal over the shoulder. That was probably the second game I went to, and it's just been a huge part of my life. In fact, if you look at Top of the Pops or any of my videos, there's always a little Easter egg of Flame stuff in there.
Would you say the Cup run is your favorite memory, or was it the memories as a child?
Oh, well, my favorite memory is Vernon in Game 7 overtime against Vancouver. I remember my parents thinking that I was so tense they might have to take their 8 or 9-year-old to the hospital for, you know, so that is absolutely my favorite memory. And then obviously the Cup run is special, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
You're wearing the jersey, which looks amazing on you. What do you think about the design?
Overwhelmed. Zoe, who put this together, just knocked it out the park. There's so many, for people that have traveled to India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all the countries in South Asia, there's so many palettes of colors, flavors, architecture. It's like to incorporate all that, or as much as we can, into one logo. It's something that I couldn't have imagined would have happened a long time ago, and it's special. I think it's going to really sit in the hearts of a lot of people for a long time.
So you are our ambassador for the South Asian community. What do you think that role will look like? What do you hope to accomplish in the role?
I think the conversation over the last few years about how we treat one another has evolved. Some of it has been helpful conversation, some of it maybe not so helpful, has kind of pushed us apart in some ways. I think the thing that really stands out for me is that my parents immigrated to Canada in the 60s, and there's no way to overstate what hockey's meant to our family in terms of feeling Canadian while still celebrating our Indianness. There's a way to do it seamlessly that we all kind of get together and look at what we have in common. I think in Canada, there's nothing that stands out more neon in that regard than hockey. So my hope would be, in any small way, to kind of echo that sentiment about how much we have in common while celebrating our differences, and doing that around the game of hockey, sort of in a way the way I've tried to do that with my music for 20 years, but with something that has a real impact on our community and everyone in it.
Right. So the South Asian Celebration Game is March 30th. It's coming fast.
Yeah. As
a Calgarian and as a member of that community, what does it mean to you just to see the Flames celebrating it like that with the game?
I couldn't have imagined this would have happened even 7, 8 years ago. And that's not because I would call any ill will around the world or around North America for this kind of thing, but it's just that the conversation has changed so much. The fact that it's celebrated and we acknowledge that folks have loved hockey for 2 generations now in this country that maybe were born or raised or are second generation immigrants, and now we have new folks coming in and what hockey means to them. You know, sometimes I listen to the radio and it's pretty significant, the difference you hear now in terms of how many people are absolutely new into the country that have fallen in love with the sport. And I couldn't have imagined that this would have happened 7, 8 years ago. So I feel like it's really bringing us together, and it's a new world.
Right. Well, we are super excited to have you as an ambassador. Keep crushing it with your music, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.